All right, here with South Lakes head basketball coach Mike Desmond after his team wins at 65-39 over Patriot in the VHSL Classic State Championship at the Siegel Center in Richmond. Coach, you finish up on, I forget, 17, 18 straight wins on the season, but you win the first ever in school history. What's going through your mind as the clock hits triple zeros? And you didn't just beat a really good Patriot team. You took them apart in as impressive a fashion as probably a team could.
I'm not sure yet. Probably I remember like, oh my God, oh my God. And it will sink in for me later. But, for the kids, the community, the school, this is a long time coming. It's a long time coming. And I'm just proud of the opportunity and, the kids just took advantage of it, and they're probably going crazy in there. I don't know. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing since I picked it up from the locker room.
So it's a surreal moment, basically.
I have no words.
Yeah.
I have no words.
Speechless. Which is probably not like you at all. Coach.
I have some four-letter words.
Yeah. But no, it's interesting. I know you and both Coach Rivers, you have a lot of mutual respect for each other. Downplayed the previous encounter, which makes a lot of sense. Both teams are totally different from when you met in December before Christmas. But for your kids, I felt like coming in, even though they handled it well, there's a little bit of get back. All right, they beat us. It was an early game, preseason 1 versus 2, that type of thing, Class 6. But they wanted some payback, and I thought they handled themselves with that business-like approach. Did you sense that all week leading up to this game, that they had that mentality of locked in?
The last 3 weeks, they've been calm, and that makes me calm. And, they're teenagers and they're kids. We didn't talk about payback, but I'm sure in their minds that they wanted some payback because Patriot just beat us. They stomped us.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, sometimes things line up, right? So, even like for the regional playoffs, we get Yorktown. Yorktown came in's football team and beat our undefeated football team. And we have a lot of football players, right? And then you go into the state tournament, and I love Carlos. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. We needed to play them. We needed to play them. And then, why don't you want to play a team that beat you? Why not, right? Everyone from that moment on, Patriot was the best team in Class 6. Yeah. So we were chasing them, and we got them.
Yeah, it lined up perfectly for you. Jordan Scott, speaking to him, he had 14 of his 28 in the fourth quarter. That last week. No, I'm talking about that last week. Today he had 23. But one thing that was interesting to me was in the first quarter today, he got going. He was efficient, which is part of his game. Didn't force the issue. But I think what jumps out at me, you coach him all the time, just his basketball IQ. It's through the roof, isn't it?
It's next level.
Yeah.
And I think that's what separates him. When people watch us play, and you and I've talked, and you see Jordan Scott for the first time, he looks like he's 13 years old.
Right.
He's not jacked.
Yeah. He's going to get bigger.
Oh, yeah. But he does nothing flashy. Nothing flashy. And he's able to get to his spots because of the footwork and the IQ. He's well aware, not just what this guy Gardner's going to do, what the two other guys are rotating over to do. So I think his IQ is really what separates him from just another great player.
It's interesting. I was talking with Andrew Duggan, your former basketball coach, now AD, about what moment did you feel like you might win this game watching from far. I thought the Brian Kennedy 3 at the end of the half was big. We'll get to him in a second as well as Sol beat other guys for you. And you mentioned about nothing flashy. That rim-rocking slam that Jordan had in the third quarter, that was pretty mighty good to say, at least.
It was nice. And then I think Vita and Kennedy had 2 terrible possessions in a row. We gave them 4 points back. So I don't ever look at the score or celebrate the score until there's no more time on that
next
clock.
Play mentality, right?
100%. And if we're going to ask the kids to have it as a coach, I have to have that as well. So it didn't sink in or didn't feel like, oh my God, we're going to win. I'm looking at the clock and Sherman, pulled some of his guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the longest 2 minutes ever. Like, let's, so no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
A few more for you. In Solvita made a gorgeous pass, or Jordan made a pass. I forgot who one of those backdoor cuts for you. Defense wins championships. So 100%. We'll look at the highlight reel plays that Jordan does, but you don't get here, I'm quite certain, without the contributions of, say, a Brian Kennedy, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, say a Sol Vita, say Aiden Billings setting screens that people don't see Tyler Andre, who I know was that voice in the locker room on the court for you, and even David Rochester buying into his role.
Great, didn't he?
I mean, he was. His buying into his role because he started earlier now coming off the bench. How much did you realize the sacrifice was there and the willing to defend at a high level was there 32 minutes?
That's who we are.
So it was early in the year, potentially?
Oh, that's who we are for the last, however many years. We don't do a lot of conventional things defensively in practice, and we don't talk that much about offense other than valuing the possession. We're a defensive team, and anyone who knows me knows that is, and thanks to Jim Smith. When I was in junior high and I was going to go to Chantilly, Jim Smith said, "Hey, come here, kid. It's cute that you can dribble and shoot, but if you want to play high school basketball, you're going to defend." So as a player, I took that on, and as a coach, we're defensive first.
40-16 in the paint. You end up shooting at a 55.8% clip to win the state championship. And, coaches have these dreams of how it's going to go down. And I know you said it would be surreal later, but to finish the season the way you all did, tell us about the pride you have and what all these players did for this to happen.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice me, sacrifice my individual, block out the noise, maybe parents, maybe uncles, maybe cousins, maybe friends. We do the whole 1, 2, 3 together. But it wasn't until early January when Tyler made that speech that it actually was real.
Turning point in your season, dare we say?
100%. And people looked at us at the time and said, "Oh, your record's great" or whatever. We weren't a team.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of inter squad disagreements, fights sometimes, and it wasn't until Tyler was able to basically call out everyone from top to bottom, Jordan all the way down the list, about not being selfish. So that was a turning point, and they sacrifice. You don't get here without individuals sacrificing individual things.
Well, mission accomplished. Mike Desmond, South Lake Seahawks, our state champs for the first time in school history. Thank you so much. Congrats. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.